Why do I say that GST is a bad idea? Now let's understand our concepts first. GST is nothing but VAT in most countries. You got value added tax because the idea is that you don't levy tax on tax from the raw material to the final output stage and sale. You only pay tax on the value addition, so you avoid the cascading effect of taxes. That is the basic thing of GST. Now, throughout the world, you have basically one GST. I think Canada and Brazil are two countries which have dual GST. But most countries have one GST. You go to Singapore, whether you go to a bar and have a drink or you go and buy an electronic item in a shop, you just pay 7% Singapore GST. Now, my fundamental objection with GST is what we are calling GST is not GST. Look at what's happening now. What's the current state of situation? Today you have 29 states, so you have 29 state taxes, VAT acts, so sales tax acts. You have one service tax. You have one excise duty. So basically you got 29 plus 1, 31, and one service tax, 32. What is going to happen to our GST? Now I can understand if you implement GST and have one GST, which is what is called one nation, one tax, then I have no problems. But what is happening, look at the difficulty what's going to happen now. You are going to have, now the Constitution has been amended. Under the 101st Amendment to the Constitution, we have a new article called Article 246A, which says, Parliament and the states can levy tax on the supply of goods and services. Parliament and the states can levy tax on the supply of goods and services. So, not only Parliament, but each state government can levy its own GST. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have and we are going to have 29 different VAT laws, which is called SGST, state government taxes. You're going to have one CGST for interstate transactions, and you're going to have one IGST, what's called inter-GST. So you're going to have 31 laws, replacing 32 laws now. For the life of me, I don't know how it is going to simplify things. And why do I say that? Article 246A says that every state can levy a GST. Now we are a federal structure. Dr. Ambedkar said that the essence of our constitution is a partition between the lawmaking power given to Parliament and the lawmaking power given to the state, a partition. The Supreme Court has said that state governments are not appendages of the Parliament. And on 11th of December 2016, the 9-judge bench in the entry tax case said that every state is as sovereign as Parliament in its power to levy taxes. So there is nothing that stops one state government from going on its own path. Article 279A introduces a GST council whose powers are only recommendatory. So today there is nothing to stop a maverick government from going on a different path or at least distorting the entire GST system. Now, apart from this horrendously complex thing, and that's why I said that this, I'm quite amazed at the debate which says that GST is going to be the panacea for all evils, it's going to increase GDP by 2%. What's the basis of these submissions? I just don't understand. Now just look at this particular point. I personally believe that the existing system was good. The problem is not with the law, the problem is the implementation of the law, the leakages in the system. Now how are you going to administer this together? Now look at the situation that is going to happen now. I personally believe we are a federal country, more diverse than the European Union. I mean, there is more difference between Jharkhand and Tamil Nadu than there is between Portugal and say Italy. Now what is good for Jharkhand, what is good for Chhattisgarh is not good for Maharashtra and vice versa. But you're going to have one kind of GST putting everybody into the same problem, into the same situation. So I think that it is going to lead to more complexity, more uncertainty, and procedure is going to be more difficult. And I'll make good my submission. Let's say today I'm running a diagnostic center. I'm a service provider. I have to file 2 service tax returns in a year. Now come September 2017, and when this wonderful dream comes true of GST, what's going to happen to a service provider? He has to file 3 returns a month. On the 10th, on the 15th, and on the 20th. All online. Right? So he files 3 returns a month, so he files 36 returns on 10th, 15th, and 20th. Then, he has to then file 12 tedious returns. which is 36 plus 12, 48. And he has to file one annual return, which is 49. So mathematically speaking, a person who was filing just 2 service tax returns has to file 49 returns. And this is no exaggeration. Please see the fine print. And if I got diagnostic centers in 9 states, I must file 9 into 49 because each state is autonomous. And just imagine the load on the system. All people have to file only on the 10th. And those of you who have visited the websites of the Ministry of Corporate Affairs or the Tamil Nadu Sales Tax Department, you know how difficult it's going to be to load these systems. I always believe that demonetization caused tremendous collateral damage. Tremendous collateral damage. And I fear that you're going to implement GST into a system, into a country, which is still not ready for it. You're going to implant a tree where the soil is still not ready to take it. See, we talk, what is the threshold limit? You're going to say anybody above 20 lakhs comes into GST. 20 lakhs per year. Just think of a service provider, let us say in Sholapur, or a service provider in Jaisalmer. What is the computer is going to have? What is the online system is going to have? What is the data support that he is going to have? Yet we headlong go into this concept of GST. The other fear which I've got as far as GST is concerned, the enormous potential for tax evasion. One unique feature of GST throughout the world is that there's only one rate of tax. In Singapore, you don't have 7% on shoes, 12% on jewelry, 40% on liquor. No, it's just one GST, 7% flat. But what are the rates we are talking of? 0%, 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%. And if you see last week's statement, it's very worrisome. We first thought that 28% will be only for a few items. Now they say no. Wherever we are going to forego VAT and service tax, we are going to make it 28%. I just want you to ask, whatever else our virtues are, paying taxes is not one of them. The entire economy is basically cash. I was talking to the director of Glaxo. For the first time in 54 years, the Glaxo factory shut down because there was nobody to buy everything is in cash. Whether you like it or not, that's the reality. Now, if you're going to make it 28% at the retail level, just imagine the amount of tax evasion. Did a lot of work in central excise. You know, we had this system. My previous speaker spoke about the reforms and so on. But we had for many, many years a horrendous system of excise duty. For example, shampoo. Shampoo was taxed at 110%. If you studied the excise tariff, anything which made you feel good was taxed heavily. Because under socialism, all of us have to be miserable. So you buy a nice polyester fiber cloth, you pay 40% duty. Buy shampoo, you pay 110% duty. But you go and buy a Khadi Gramodyog soap made without the aid of power, no duty. So this was the whole structure. Now what did people do? If your turnover was less than 5 lakhs, no duty. More than 5 lakhs and up to 15 lakhs, 110% duty. So what people did was, you had throughout Pondicherry, Cuddalore and so on. I remember those days, we did so many excise cases. Housewives would have shampoo making machines. They'll make up to 4,90,000. Stop for the year. Again next year make. So everybody made less than 5 lakhs. And then you had amendment after amendment after amendment to plug these loopholes. Now just imagine if you've got 20 lakh threshold, you're going to have mushrooming of these multiple enterprises. Mr. Arvind Datar has got one. Mrs. Arvind Datar, son-in-law, daughter-in-law, all have multiple shops. And this is going to happen. It's a very, very real scenario which we don't realize. So ladies and gentlemen, I would just like you to pause and think whether GST is a good idea. And when I wrote articles on this, I was asked that what is the suggestion you have? It's very easy to criticize. My suggestion was that before you roll it out, try it on a trial basis. Try it on say 3 manufacturing units, 3 service sectors, 3 other traders, and see what are the difficulties in implementing GST. I still feel that our country is not suited for a national GST, but then if disasters are to happen, they will. Now, in the short time